Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Open Up Forum. We talk about anything and everything and give you a godly perspective. I'm here with Rob, Blue Lion. I thought you were going to say something. Okay.
No. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm here with
Happy New Year.
Ronald Kanye. And Matt is in the building once more. Yes, he ain't got no mic, but he's still in the building. Well, today we're going to open up with just talking about a little current affairs and what happened during this week. It's a big issue going around America. Flooded with the shooting that happened in Minnesota.
Two shootings.
Well, the first one was in Minneapolis. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Minneapolis. And Minneapolis, the young lady has passed away because she got shot by one of the ICE agents. Face. Yep, shot in the face.
That is
Renee
poor
Good
training.
Is her name. Because they was talking about for a long time, they was just saying victim or whatever how they addressed her. But she does have a name. Her name is Renee Good.
Renee Good.
And we praying for her family. Oh my goodness, because I think she had 3 kids.
Yes.
She had 3 kids, and the youngest one I think is 6 or 5 or 6.
She was a member of the LGBT community also.
I heard that. Yeah. I heard that.
Yeah, she was also a member. But I was happy to see that there were people that actually got out there in the streets and demonstrated. Because like me, the one thing that bothers me about this whole ICE agent thing is they're not showing their faces.
Yeah.
Why?
There's a reason
why. Are you not
There's
showing your faces?
They're not showing their faces because they know what they're doing is wrong.
But what I heard was, I don't know how true this is, but they said that they had recruitments for ICE.
They still recruit.
Yeah,
No. But I mean, like you, me can go and check, and put in an application for it. I'm not saying they're going to take us, but what's the qualification?
There is none.
That's what I thought.
Right.
So what I'm trying to find out,
it used to be.
What I'm trying to find out is how intensive is their training?
I don't even know if they got it trained. As long as they know they can handle it.
Because what they do don't look like policing. What they do looks like that kind of like a Ku Klux Klan back in the day. They had
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Even though this white woman was a white woman.
Yeah.
Still, you know what I'm saying? This thing seems like
comes across as how they used to send people to snatch up slaves.
Yeah. Now we can't say that this particular situation was racist. No, we can't say that was
not
racist.
That it was racist.
Yeah, but we can say that somebody wasn't trained, because if you can take out a gun and shoot somebody, you know what I'm saying, 2 times in the face, then you could have jumped out the way of the vehicle.
Yeah.
What would have been faster, me grabbing the gun and shooting her, or jumping out the way of the vehicle?
Yeah,
I think I would have jumped out of the way of the vehicle. Well, especially if I had intensive training. But they don't have training,
and that's the problem.
What do you expect them to do?
That's the problem.
That's part of the problem, also.
Yeah. As Sean had pointed to, the qualifications were stripped. The regulations and the rules were stripped down by the Trump administration.
I heard
they just let anybody become an ICE agent or a federal agent. From what I understand of the situation, this ICE agent, I call him the gunman because that's what he became. He became a gunman as soon as he shot her, rather than, if he would have had proper training, he would have known to shoot out the tires.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it turns out that this particular gunman had a previous similar incident where he was being dragged by a car.
Okay.
Again, if he had proper law enforcement training, he would have shot out the tires,
right,
rather than trying to shoot the individual and risk his own life.
We don't know that they had any type of, formal training.
We know they did not.
No,
they do not. That is a fact. They do not have formal.
Why anybody ain't out in the streets talking about like ICE? You need to be trained. If you're gonna do anything, take off the mask, number one,
right,
and let us see where you got trained.
They're not going to do that.
You understand?
They're not going to do that. Listen, man, this is Star Wars.
Because you know it's something wrong. They got to hide their faces.
It's like,
all right, this is Star Wars. You know, on Star Wars, they got the stormtroopers. That's what we
I
are.
never went to
We're kind of like in that right now.
Yeah, stormtroopers, they got masks. They all masked.
Do you ever see them
Right.
training
You'll
in
never-
any of the movies?
You'll
Never see them training, right? So
The only thing
I
is,
never watched
this is Trump's own version of law enforcement in America, and we should expect that because whenever you got somebody talking about they're upholding the law, at the same time they're breaking the law, don't expect it to be the law. So these guys are not abiding by the law while they're telling everybody in America that they're upholding the law. They're not.
No.
They're not. And now you got people targeting ICE agents now. ICE agents are now becoming a target.
Mhm.
But did I not tell you it was coming?
Mhm.
I told you this was going to happen. You
If they
can't.
ain't trained, they might get ran out of Dodge though.
Well,
'Cause some folks, got weapons and aren't trained.
exactly.
You know what I'm
See,
saying?
We got
working
militia.
for them now is
Yes.
they got numbers. They got
Oh, so a lot of them.
Yes.
It's not more
They
than
spread.
it's not more than the American militias.
Oh no. No, I'm just saying.
They
I'm
seem
just
like
he-
they make
he's
people
talking-
American.
I'm
He's
just
talking about
saying.
the American militias that have not yet taken to the street to combat ICE. That's the next level that's coming.
Yeah.
ICE, a lot of ICE members, like you saying,
Mhm.
are from various walks of militia.
Mhm.
You got the neo-Nazis in there. You got some Klansmen there. You got militia in there. You got white knights in there. There's all different groups in
White
there.
supremacy.
Yeah, that's all that is. All that's in there.
White supremacy.
And-
they just because they want to clean out.
And
Whatever it
did you
is,
hear?
know what I'm saying?
Did you hear about the neo-Nazis got to hit out on Trump too?
Nah, I
They got a
ain't
plan to take Trump out as well. They're gunning for Trump too. Here's the thing
hear that one.
that shocked me.
That's news.
When I heard it, I was like, nah, that's not true. That can't be true. They
Mhm.
just arrested a kid. What was that? He shot his two parents. He was living with them for a week or something. And their
Mhm.
bodies, 2 weeks, their bodies were decomposing. He's tied to a white supremacist group.
Mhm.
Not only are they a white supremacist group, they're a neo-Nazi group, and they have plans on taking out Trump.
Mhm.
So the rumors are no longer rumors because it's been uncovered by local news agencies. What's the guy named Casapan or something like that?
Are these neo-Nazis? Are they poor?
I don't know if they're
Because
poor.
if they're poor,
I think
then
they're average
Trump
American,
definitely-
my average American citizen.
Well,
But
that's poor
Are
to
they
the rich.
organized? That's the other question. How much are they organized?
They're
They're
organized.
organized because they've been out
They're
here doing
organized.
that for a while.
Yeah,
So yeah, they got to
I'm
be
just
organized.
saying how much of it is organized because are they from state to state?
Well, they're fueled by hate. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's
But
another
speaking
thing.
of Trump, and I hope we're not getting off the subject where we were, but
Mhm.
I overlooked. I guess it was what do you call that when he comes out and speaks?
The press conference.
Was it a press conference? I guess it was a press
You
conference.
look forward to what press conference?
When he
Which one?
came out and said that he will be taking over
Venezuela?
the oil
In
Venezuela.
Oh yeah,
He didn't say he was taking over Venezuela.
Yeah.
He said he was taking
Over
over
the
the
oil.
oil
In
in
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Nope.
Nope. I'm telling
Is
you.
that like modern day colonization?
That's like modern day piracy.
Yeah.
The same thing that they accuse the African nations of doing, the pirates,
Mhm.
is exactly what Trump is doing.
But there's laws about how you go about things like that.
That's why the
Exactly.
United Nations had the
Exactly.
emergency vote on that. And they all pretty much unanimously voted to condemn Trump on his actions.
Is that right?
So there's going to be some kind of sanctions coming behind that. We just got to wait and see what happened. Now, what's the only thing that's kind of like saving the Trump administration in that instance right now is because Maduro was viewed to be such a
dictator.
bad guy.
Yeah, he was a
Mhm.
dictator.
But here's an
but I
article.
did hear that Maduro did kind of bring
Oh,
down
yeah,
Venezuela.
He did.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
I heard
did.
that. I heard that.
That's what's getting them
Yeah.
over because they took him out.
And I think
But
that's
they
why
used
Trump
it.
said we're going to make Venezuela great again.
Great again, yeah.
Because I heard it was really flowing
Yeah,
at one
it was-
time.
it
Yeah.
was, it
Yeah,
was.
but they said Maduro. was
Maduro,
behind
yeah,
it.
The
he was,
old president.
yeah.
had-
But I don't
had
know why they
Venezuela
arrested her
pretty
wife.
good.
I mean,
Yeah,
his wife.
Yeah.
Why they arrest his wife?
because she married to him.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with anything?
That's just what they do. An 18-year-old Wisconsin man accused of killing his parents and stealing their money to find a plan to assassinate President Trump pleaded guilty to 2 homicide counts in a deal with prosecutors on Thursday, locking himself into 2 life prison sentences. His name was Nikita Kasap. Kasap.
He'll
Kasap.
kill his mother and father. He'll definitely kill Trump.
So
The plan was, so
Mhm.
he's part of a neo-Nazi group called the Base. No, they're called the Terror. Is it called the Terrorgrammers or something like that? I had it written down, but there's 10 to 12 instances right now from just this year and last year of people with intentions of killing Trump. If he doesn't die while he's in office of natural causes,
But see, this is why I say America got to.
he might not make it out of office.
America got to pay attention to what's going on.
They have to pay attention. Pay attention, America.
Yeah, you got to pay attention to what's going
Pay
on.
attention, because there is a prophecy on this country, and you are living it right now.
Yeah.
What's the prophecy?
It's not a good one.
No, what is it?
That America is going to become like a third world nation, which we currently are.
Yeah.
The things that you see,
prophesied that?
quite a few people.
Bible or people?
People.
People.
Yeah. Now,
My
I was
thing
one of
is-
them.
My
Thank
thing
God I
is,
was able to see that.
not only that, I think we having like an internal war here in our nation right here.
Yeah, it
The
is.
United States is an internal
Mhm.
battle, but there's also an outside battle that's
Mhm.
forming too.
Internal and external.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because we have him wanting to take over Greenland now. That's the big
I
story.
heard.
He said that
But
before.
I heard he
though.
wanted to
Yeah.
buy it.
But no, not, he's saying he willing to negotiate. This is the latest.
Mhm.
I think-
But if
yes.
military forces on the table,
Yeah, he said he's willing to negotiate. But he said if he don't get it that way, he gonna go the hard way,
Mhm.
which is he might have to fight. He's gonna use military action.
he's putting our military at a
Coming up
disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
He putting our military at a disadvantage because our military is being hit with doing the right thing. He's creating a moral crisis in our military.
Mhm.
And as you can see, if you've been paying attention, we have had a lot of high-ranking military officials resigning, retiring,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
There's an article that just came out, I think yesterday. Recruiting efforts to bring Gen Z into the military is failing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to join this military. They don't
Mhm.
want to join the American military. They don't want to fight for this country. And it's not because it's not a great country. We're not a great nation. We are. It's because we have poor presidential leadership. We have,
I said that about a couple of way back.
yeah,
Leadership.
it is leadership. But
leadership.
yeah, leadership. But again, we all knew this.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us that did not vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the handwriting on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Again, those of us that did not vote for Trump. We heard his plans while he was on the campaign trail. Again, those of us who did not vote for Trump. Those who did, I don't know if they heard it and didn't care. I don't know if they didn't hear it and so they voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they didn't believe it when they heard it. However it may be, whatever the situation is, they did what they did.
Yep.
And now look at how many of them has what's called buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, as we said a couple of sessions ago, so many of them have turned back and found their common sense and turned away from following Trump. Now you have a very, 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 very small group of people following Trump now. It's not nowhere near what it was when he first started.
Mm-hmm.
We thank God for that. But this latest incident with, you got, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 separate ICE agents incidents, right?
Mhm.
Shootings.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is sending a shockwave through the country. And people that's not paying attention are missing this very important point.
Mm-hmm.
We said early on, and I know I shared this with people, he's going to start with illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to go with the immigrants who came over here legally.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to go to the American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
I said that. I wasn't the only one that said that.
Mm-hmm.
There was many other people that said that. It's happening right now, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing that these people are not really focusing on. Why did we say that? We said that because we knew that when he got into office, what did he say he was going to be?
A dictator
From day one.
from day one.
And Sean Hannity, bless his heart. Bless his heart. He tried. He tried to get Trump to say, you didn't really mean you was going to be a dictator. You didn't really, you just, Trump said, no, I'm going to be a dictator. He said, you mean for just one day. He said, we'll see.
Yeah. And he been doing it ever since he been sitting in there.
Now we see it.
Yeah.
So
Ever since he been doing, because he been overriding Congress laws, he been overriding, going over their heads, because he wasn't supposed to go in Venezuela without consulting Congress,
without getting
Right,
permission
he
from
bypassed Congress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything he's done since he's been in office has bypassed Congress. He has not had the legal authority to do what he's been doing.
Well, he tried to say that once you notify Congress, sometimes they leak, information.
And that's what he said. He just
but is that
no, it's not.
have we ever found that being the truth?
That's
The truth.
That may be true that they may leak things, but it doesn't stop him from having to follow the protocol.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Because his own administration leaked stuff.
Boy,
So
did
So I don't. And they was texting,
and they
on-
still leaking stuff.
Yeah, they was texting each other, and that got leaked.
And look, Pete Hegseth,
What
he
was
can't
that
help
stuff?
himself.
Yeah,
Pete
Pete
Hegseth,
Hegseth,
he
got
can't
it.
help himself.
Yeah,
He's leaking stuff all the time.
all the time. So I'm like, how you just gonna say the government leaked stuff in your own
Hey,
administration?
the
leaked
Democrats. He's talking about he
Yeah.
tried to put it on the
Yeah,
Democrats.
exactly. He
The
put it on the
Democrats would leak
Democrats.
it. He didn't want to. See, that's the
So-
problem with Trump, man. And this is what things that people are not paying attention. You got to pay attention, America. Pay attention.
stuff? Yeah, especially-
Because if you don't have a problem with ICE agents, federal agents shooting and killing American citizens simply for protesting. First of all, the right to protest, that is our constitutional right.
yeah,
We got the right to free
Absolutely.
speech,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Those were they obstructing ICE agents from doing their job? Maybe so.
Perhaps.
Right? Maybe so.
Mhm.
But were they doing it in a violent manner?
No.
No, if you
No.
looked at the video up until that happened, they were like, they were kind of being condescending to the ICE agents. I could really say,
Definitely.
but
Most people
they
are
weren't
that way.
being violent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They said a couple of bad words,
Mhm.
but the ICE agents said just quite a few bad words too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess it did get kind of heated.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wanted to understand was, why did they want her to get out of the car?
Because they wanted to arrest her.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what they do.
Yeah.
No, but you can protest without being arrested.
But that's not their MO. Their MO, this is how you know they're not properly trained. Their MO is if you don't move when they tell you to move, they're going to arrest you.
Because you're interfering with what they're supposed to be doing,
That's their MO.
which is getting the
Well, I guess we got
illegal
to find out what
immigrants.
they're supposed to be doing. then.
Their job is to get rid of illegal immigrants.
The problem is they're not.
And whoever's in their way, they go through.
Yeah.
So that means if you in my way, I grab you too.
They're arresting legal immigrants.
Yeah. They're arresting legal immigrants. Now
They're getting a
shot.
few illegal, but
Yeah.
a lot of legal immigrants have been arrested. A lot of American citizens have been arrested. I'm
Yeah.
like, the training there is no training.
There is no training.
Hmm.
That's why I said it's none. Qualifications you need, none.
And that's
And
why
Job training.
Maybe that's
Only
why you
job
have a
training.
mask on.
that's exactly right.
That's
They
right.
know what they're
You be
doing
like,
is
oh,
illegal.
that's Joseph from up,
Yeah, exactly.
That Joseph, that you boy.
Yeah. He could
I'm
be
gonna
your
tell
next door
your
neighbor.
mama on you,
He
boy.
could be
I
your
saw-
next
I
door
saw-
neighbor.
I saw
You
one
know what I'm
lady.
saying?
They showed her. I'm not trying to be racist, but she looked Spanish,
Mhm.
Okay.
but she was in ICE.
Yeah.
So
I'm-
Spanish people be coming to get
Let me
Spanish.
tell you.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. It's crazy.
There's a lot of people in this country that
crazy.
have
That's insane.
that have an identity crisis. We need
Mhm.
to talk about that one day. A
Oh,
lot
now
of-
them,
a lot of
them
Jewish-
Spanish people think that
yes, they
white.
do. A lot of
Yeah.
Hispanics have an identity crisis. A lot of Jewish
Yeah.
people have an identity crisis.
The delusion of inclusion. That's what one guy called
Take the
it. Because they're delusional because they think that they're white. They think that white people think that they're white too,
Mhm.
but white people don't.
don't they know the difference.
You know,
Yeah.
but then they don't.
Like
know.
like this
They
dude,
don't know.
like
They
Nick
believe.
Fuentes, right?
Mhm.
He's a far right influencer. His name is Nick Fuentes. He has Hispanic, Latin American, however you want to phrase it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
he has outside of American, what we consider to be American descendancy, heritage,
Yeah.
lineage.
Yep.
But he's on YouTube spouting hate
Mm-hmm.
for a pro-white America,
Mhm.
simply because he could pass for white.
Mm-hmm.
But his name is Nick Fuentes. He has Hispanic DNA, Latin American DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's Mexican,
Mm-hmm.
right? He has that DNA in his body,
Mm-hmm.
in his
And his
family,
blood is- yep.
his bloodline.
Yeah, his blood.
And he's online arguing on behalf of white supremacists.
Mm-hmm.
How is that for an identity crisis? Another dude, his name is Shapiro. I think his name is Shapiro. He's up there. He's another right wing influencer.
Shapiro, that sounds like a Jewish name.
He is Jewish.
Okay.
And he's up there. He got a real weird, like when we say, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how he
That's how he
sound like,
sound?
yeah, sound like that. So
But white people don't like Jews
I like
either.
to talk to
Like
them.
regular white people,
identity
they say that
crisis.
Jesus is their enemy. Like,
and I think it's another brother up there on YouTube. It's a brother, African American.
Mm-hmm.
He's also promoting white supremacist mentality and attitude for America.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, you're black.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you? Identity crisis. So these guys, they have something wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Something here is not clicking, right? It's kind of like we told the brothers that were black, brothers that were black that were voting for Trump when we found out they were voting for Trump. Why would you vote against your own self-interest, your best interest, your own self-preservation? Why would you vote for somebody that wants to remove you? Not just remove you, erase you
Mm-hmm.
from existence. Why would you vote for your own annihilation?
Mm-hmm.
What have you done
Mm-hmm.
that warrants that in your mind?
Right.
What have your people done that warrants that in your mind?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you feel as though your people, and yourself included, are just that inferior?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's a lack of faith in God. I don't know.
I feel like you just have a lot of delusional people.
Yeah, they
Well,
got there's a lot of
a lot of
right
people-
here, right here.
Some black people
Yeah, I just
are
said that.
delusional too.
Yeah, I just talked about
Yeah,
that.
we just talked about
Yeah.
one guy that's
yeah.
speaking out
Yeah.
Some of them
against
Yeah.
well, for Trump.
Yeah,
against his own
Candace.
people.
Oh,
Candace said she no
Owens.
longer wants to be down with MAGA or Trump
Yeah.
because Trump said that there are no files on the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
But everything
That's
before
what
that,
she said.
before that, she was riding with.
Oh
Yes, but after
Who
he
you talking
said
about?
that, she
Marjorie?
said, "All right, that's it." Because
Yeah.
just you're insulting my intelligence now, right? So,
But she also
did
has
you hear
a
who
problem.
they got
Who did?
now?
Who?
Nicki Minaj. They got Nicki Minaj supporting Trump. Nicki Minaj.
Okay. I don't think she supports Trump.
Oh yeah.
I think they put her in a position of ambassadorship for family values because of what she said. She said, and we all hold the same opinion, there's nothing wrong with you being born a male and wanting to be a male. That's what she said. There's nothing wrong with you being born a boy and wanting to grow up into a man. And there's nothing wrong with you being born a girl and wanting to grow up to be a woman. I think everybody in here agrees with that.
Well, of
Mhm.
course, that's
Right?
common sense.
We think so.
Yeah.
But there's a faction in America who finds that offensive. Oh, you can't tell a child what not. No. We get people have a right to decide how they want to live their life. We get that. We understand that. But that's not what she's saying.
that's not what she's saying, right?
That's not what she's saying. She's not speaking against that,
Yeah.
right? She's not saying anything
Oh, my
about that from a negative perspective. She's simply saying, hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with being born a male and being,
Exactly.
you know, and
They
dying
turn
a
it
male.
into.
Yeah.
They turn it into that riff.
No,
To make it a riff.
no, but it's a conspiracy. I'm sorry, but I'm have to say
What's the
it's
conspiracy?
with
What?
that. With that whole male wanting to be a female and the female wanting to be a male.
You don't think that's true?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Well, tell me what you're
I'm
saying.
saying if somebody has that idea,
Mm-hmm.
well, they stand to make a lot of money off of the psychiatric help, and then the medication because they give those people medication
They do.
to try to turn themselves. You understand
They
what I'm
do.
saying? So there's a lot of money. If they push for that,
Mhm.
if they push for that, there's a lot of money to be made behind that. You know, you got to look at that perspective.
I'm looking at it. I
You
hear
know
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying? Yeah, there's a lot of money to make for that effect. So they, they push. Come on, man. You know how much money that must generate?
Mental illness
yearly?
has exploded as a field in this country.
But
The
is that a mental
psychiatric
illness?
field. That's what they're claiming it. Well, actually, going back to what's that book? The DCMV 4 or 5. It's a book. It's a manual. And at one point in time, all the way up into the 70s, it was classified as a mental illness.
Mhm.
Homosexuality, be it male or female, because they like to throw that word lesbian around. No, all a lesbian is a female homosexual. The same thing. Transgender, all that stuff.
Well, yeah,
All that was considered to be,
That's what
all that stuff was considered to be a mental illness. And all the way up until, I think, the mid 1900s, there was laws right here in America that you could be punished for living that lifestyle. But when you get people that live that lifestyle in power, what are the first thing they're going to do? They're going to try to start changing those laws so that they
I
can
don't think it's a
do what they
lifestyle.
want to do.
I don't think it's a lifestyle. I think it's more of a sexual preference. Like it's not a lifestyle. If
it's
that
a
you
sexual
prefer-
preference, it's how
you
you,
prefer
how
a
you live in your
specific
life.
sex.
It's how you live in your life.
No, but you prefer listen.
But see, look,
They
it's
make
not
it
just the
seem-
sex though.
They make
It's
it
who you
seem-
hang around.
No, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
but
how you
but-
pursue somebody of the same
But
sex.
I'm saying they make
you
it
can't
so
do that
much.
in the grocery store. I mean, you can't, but it's more likely you're gonna go to a club that has all that in there.
Okay, but they make it so. They make it
The
so
Blue Oyster
more-
Club. It's called the
You
Blue
gonna go
Oyster Club.
somewhere
The
Yo,
Blue
where it's
Oyster.
comfortable for
Yo,
you.
Let me tell you my
to live
opinion.
your life.
Let me tell you my opinion.
The
That's
Blue
why they
Oyster
say it's a
Club.
lifestyle.
Let me tell you my opinion.
Go ahead.
They make it so much harder than it really is.
What as far as what?
Who
Because
makes it?
you know whoever keeps pushing for this,
Oh,
rights,
you
that
talking
we
about the
need
ones
rights
that
and all that kind of stuff.
okay, yeah.
They make it so much harder than it really is, right? But when you bring it down, when you break it down to its, first, natural compound or whatever,
Mhm.
all we're talking about is sexual preference.
It's more
That's
than
it.
that though.
Everybody
think it
has sex. No, it's not more than that.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yes, it
has
is.
sex.
Yeah.
Everybody has the right to their sexual preference.
I understand
I don't
that.
care if you're 2 women or 2 men or whatever like that. You have the right to your sexual preference. And you know why I say that? Because I said that I only like black women. And I
Right.
do. I got it tattooed on me. I love black women.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And people came at me saying that I was wrong
For saying
only
that?
loving- and I'm white. And I'm sorry. And I'm
You
black.
Yeah.
And
I'm starting to
and I
say
said-
you were white.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not white. Even my inside is black. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? My
And we
problem
just talked
is-
about people having an identity crisis.
Yo, you guys know that was a slip of the tongue. It wasn't a Freudian slip.
I got you.
But I do got white in me, though. I
Yeah.
got
But-
to say that.
But the point
But yeah,
is,
but that's it in a nutshell.
no, it's more than that.
But to me, it's not.
I
To
understand.
me, it's not.
I understand. To you, it's
Yeah.
not. I get you.
Well, to most people,
I
it's
get you.
just sex.
No.
What else is it?
Because they want to live the way they want to live.
Because
And that's okay.
It's
That's
a
what their
mental
choice
thing.
is.
But that's why they call it a lifestyle.
Right, because it's a mental
Okay,
thing.
so I only love black women. Is that my lifestyle?
Yeah, because you
That's tied into your
tied
lifestyle.
into your lifestyle. That's the way you operate.
See, it's tied into that.
But I don't go
Yeah.
places to.
Okay,
Well,
so let's examine that. You
You gonna go to a
I
white
almost.
club?
That's,
Oh.
I almost.
You gonna go to a white club
how
to
do you
find
say
a
it?
woman?
I almost misrepresented the truth. I had to catch myself.
So what?
I almost misrepresented the truth.
So when you say that you
But I
are
cleared it up.
only
I
into
do
black
love it.
women, there's more to it that goes with that because
No.
there's a psychological connection there. All right. There's a reason why you're only into black women. Is it
Do
simply
you know
because you do?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
You ever had one?
I'm married to a black.
There it is. I don't need to say anything else.
So when you look at
What else do I need to say?
but so you get where I'm coming from.
I do.
So it's the same way for the person who has a sexual preference that is of the same sex.
Mhm.
There's more to it that ties into that.
All it is their preference. That's it.
No,
That's it. It's just their preference.
Okay.
That's what you prefer.
I had a friend of mine tell me. He said, man. I asked him. I said, well, because he's had bad relationships with African American women, and I said, well, if you can't find a African American woman to your liking, why don't you try Anglo American woman, or maybe try an Asian American woman, And he was like, I don't know about that, because the experiences are not the same. You see?
Well, no, break it down.
He said, what we went through historically,
Mhm.
we can relate to
Right.
completely,
Yeah, sure.
right? So they may not be able to relate to his point of that historical experience. So he wants to marry somebody or settle down with somebody
You can relate.
that can relate to that historical experience, the
Okay.
culture itself.
I don't have a problem with
Because
that.
we don't put raisins in potato salad. You feel me?
Who puts raisins in potato salad? Really? Is it still potato salad? Is it still called potato salad? If you put raisins in? I ain't never heard no raisins in the potato salad, man. I mean, that's like
Look, I'm like this.
that's like
Love is love.
this and that.
This is my
That's like,
own.
look,
This is my own personal
eggs? Yeah, but
perspective on this.
raisins?
Love is love.
There you go. Love is love.
Whether you're white, black, Hispanic,
Whether
other.
you're 2 women or 2 men.
No.
whatever.
I draw the line at that.
That's love, though.
No,
Those people love each other.
you can love each other, but there's a limit to that, because
See,
one's
I
natural.
think it's just preference. I think
One
it's
is
just-
natural.
It is natural to
And
them. We just can't relate to it because we're straight.
Because,
but to them, it's natural.
but to us, it's not.
Well, to us, we can't relate. I
It's-
wouldn't say that it's not natural to me, but I can't relate to it because I don't like men. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
if I did, it would be natural to me. I would think it's natural to them
It's natural to them for a reason.
because that's their preference.
Would you agree?
Yes.
Would you agree with that? Now, do you know that there are basic ways that men become like that, where it becomes their preference? The same thing goes with women.
What?
The same thing goes with
I mean,
women.
something happened to them and they like that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you have never met a little boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you said when he grows up, he probably don't like it.
I've seen a few that
Right?
was suspect.
Okay, so
I've seen a few
I mean,
that was
on their way.
suspect.
now they
On their way.
say that you're born that way.
Mhm.
I can't relate because what's the guy? Michael J. Fox. You know the lady who played his mom. At 60 something, she came out and said she was a lesbian, but she had
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox, the one I think he was in Back to the
Back to the
Future.
Future. That's
But,
Michael J.
but
Fox.
they had a sitcom. And
Oh,
his mom-
Family Ties, I think it was.
Family
Oh,
Ties.
Yes,
I'm
and the
sorry.
lady that played his mom was like 60 something,
Okay.
and she came out and said
Later
that
on
she
in
was-
life that she was like that.
like 60 something.
Yeah.
So I asked a gay guy that used to work together.
Yeah.
Me and him used to work together,
Yeah.
and I asked him. I said, I thought they said that like you're like that at birth, and he said, yes, that's true. So I said,
No, it's not true.
but the lady's 62 years old,
Yeah.
so
See, he was trying to
That's
justify that
confusing.
because he's gay,
Mhm.
justify what?
being gay.
Mhm.
That's what they do.
I don't think
Just
he-
like we
I don't think
justify
he wanna
being
justify it.
heterosexual, they justify being
I
homosexual.
don't think he want to justify because he's married to a doctor.
Listen, man.
Man, listen, I don't want no guy, but I'm kind of jealous. I wish I could find a woman doctor to love.
You gotta look real hard.
You looking for a
I don't
wife?
want no guy. Huh?
You looking for a wife?
Am I looking for a wife
Yeah.
at this point?
Yeah.
Not
No.
particularly. I don't want to,
He ain't looking.
Why? What you about to do? Go on some site and
No, not at all. Not at all.
you put your phone back. I'm like, what you gonna hook me up, man? What you got over here?
No, because if you were looking, if you were going to
ChristianDating.com?
look for a wife,
Uh-huh.
pay attention to America.
We got Christian.
If you're going to look for a wife, where would you go?
if I wanted to look for a wife, where would I go?
In your mind, your idea, every man, let me say this. Pay attention to America. every man has an idea of the type of woman he wants to settle down with.
Fact.
Yes.
Fact.
So based on that, in your mind, where do you think you would go
Man,
to find what you're
is
looking
so
for?
crazy right now. I have no idea. I might go on what's that thing on YouTube? I mean, no, not YouTube. Facebook.
Facebook.
It says senior something.
Oh
but
yeah, okay.
I'm scared to mess with that because I think everybody, on Facebook gonna know my business. So
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't go on there. But it's hard to meet, women these days because of the fact that they think that we're scared to approach them, right?
Really?
Yeah, but I don't feel like we're scared to approach them.
Mhm.
I feel that they don't appear to be approachable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes their
Right.
body language and the way they
Yeah,
act and
you,
things of
you,
that
you
nature,
automatically see it and you say,
think
I
that,
ain't gonna mess with
like, yeah, well, she's, I don't want to go over there and get shot down. Even though I do know that some of the prettiest women are the
Craziest?
most people. No. Some of the prettiest women
Mhm.
are the most women that have no dates from time after time after time.
Yeah.
Some of the really, really pretty women didn't even go to their prom because guys were scared to ask her because they were,
Yeah,
they were
I
put
can
into
understand
a
that. I can
position
see what
where
you- I can see what you're
she
saying.
was intimidating to
yes,
her.
I get it.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah. So a lot of times, believe it or not, right? The reason why guys that are you say they're let's say buffoon. Let's just use that word because I don't want to say the A word. But you understand what I'm saying? But they're like that.
Mhm.
And they usually get these type of women because they had the nerve to go up and speak to them.
Right. They
You understand what I'm
overcome their
They
shyness.
ain't no good.
This
No,
thing-
I mean the
You
guys
gotta
are no
overcome.
good.
You gotta overcome your shyness. First of all, the main thing you gotta overcome. You need courage. You gotta overcome your fear of rejection.
Mhm.
Like you were just saying, a lot of men would be intimidated
Yeah.
because they would look at her and body language. They'd be like, I don't have.
Yeah, they'd be like, I'm not gonna.
But once you got
your,
your wife, you got your wife.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for somebody that's single in today's market, you would say it's so, like you just said, there's so many avenues where you can meet people.
Mhm.
But you just touched on something that, and again, real talk, that's a real issue.
Mhm.
Privacy. You don't want people knowing your business if you're a very private person. You really don't want your business out there like that. And I know that there's a lot of people that would love to date other people because they're single and they want to date, they want to get back out there and date, but they don't want their business being out there like that.
Mhm.
So that's a very real thing.
Mhm.
So you can go to places where you can meet people that still are traditional places where you can go meet them because they never fail.
Mhm.
I'm talking about the library. I'm talking about the grocery store. Talking about the gym.
But in the grocery store, women ain't really looking for guys, man. They go to the shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't really looking for no guys. Most time I be in the supermarkets, man.
But this still works though.
Every
People are
day.
still meeting in grocery
I've been
stores.
feeling upset like nobody,
Yeah.
like somebody give me a look.
You know, here's another one.
It ain't
Go to
like
the
it used
park.
to be.
Go to the park.
Park is a good one though.
But
But they're gonna be
my
wanting to talk to you though.
number one go-to that I tell mostly every single man,
The church. He's gonna say the church.
the church.
He's gonna say the church.
The
Yeah.
church. Yes, sir.
There's
I good women in church.
There's some
Good
nice
women in church.
I wouldn't say they're good, but they nice looking women in
They
church.
ain't good.
Because everything they go to church ain't good.
Yeah, but listen, if they in the church trying to get their life right, they
Some of them, I don't know what they're in there
I
for,
tell
but
you- I
some
tell
of them,
you
their
what,
life ain't right.
they in the right place. They in
Right.
the right place. to
Yeah,
get
I hope
this
y'all
something.
pray for bring them up in the front and pray for them after church.
Amen. And I think that's the reality of what we're looking at in this country.
But you know,
today.
really, the most attractive people are the
Mhm.
most insecure.
Mhm.
You know, really,
Yeah.
really.
That's true.
Well, we all have our problems and issues that we have to work from within ourselves,
Mm.
and some more than others, right?
You know, people
Especially
get
when
upset,
you're
like
dealing
nobody-
with
nobody said I
insecurity.
look nice
That's
today.
that's a big one. right
You
there.
know, some women get upset
That's a big one.
when nobody says they look nice today. Even
Some
though
do.
they know they
Some
look
do.
nice,
Yeah.
they want to hear it.
But
They
it's
need
like
validation because everybody's self-esteem is not up.
that's
you know?
why, like the word says, you have, like David did, you have to encourage yourself.
Like David.
Yeah.
Wasn't David the guy who sent somebody in the war to get killed because he
Yeah.
wanted his wife? So why are you calling him? He's a good
Because
guy?
David made mistakes like you and I.
Yeah.
I ain't never sent nobody in war to get killed.
Nah, but when you was beating that dude up, you thought about killing him.
You keep bringing that up, man.
That's because it was a
You
mistake.
keep bringing that up. It was a mistake.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
It was a mistake.
All I'm saying, you owe me a Coca-Cola.
Nah, you owe me one.
So what happens now is he got to a place where he was so down, like you said, nobody's telling you you're doing a good job, nobody telling you you're doing okay, you're on the right path. You got to encourage yourself. You got to find a way to encourage yourself. Find something positive to say about yourself.
Absolutely.
Just don't go overboard. And then you got to also watch out when people give you a lot of compliments too,
Why?
because you can get big-headed.
Mm.
Like that what's that commercial come on with the taffy gum? Was it the Airheads
Oh
commercial?
yeah, they blew
You can get a
up.
head like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well.
But that's
And
the
it
thing.
don't take much.
That's the thing, and you got to pay attention because we talked about it a little earlier before everybody else came in. The signs. There are signs in life that you get where it's okay. I've been doing this for so long. Now it's time for me to step into this lane here, or I'm not sure I want to venture out on this level, but the signs are saying, "Hey, man, it's time for you to venture out."
Sometimes that
on
door
this
will
level.
close, and then you would have to, you would have to seek another door. Yeah, so,
Exactly. So these are things that we're experiencing not just internally on a private level, but we're doing it on an individual level, but we're also doing it publicly on a collective level, externally as well. So it's within ourselves and it's outside of us with those around us. We can be a part of somebody else's life and encourage them to actually move forward and go to that next level. You get what I'm saying? We can be used as the handwriting on the wall, confirming, hey, man, I was thinking about this. And, we can help them move to that next level. So now we have to get the country to pay attention to the signs.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry, I forgot.
We have to get the country to pay attention to the signs. As I said about earlier, we saw the signs coming. We are where we are in society because a lot of people didn't see the signs and they didn't pay attention. My question now is, do you think with all that's happening in society in America today, do you think the majority of Americans are now ready to pay attention to the signs?
I think so. I think people are more ready to pay attention now than ever because so much chaos and stuff has been done already. Because like we saying in this show, America got to pay attention. I think more people are paying attention just because there's more protests going on.
It's going to continue.
Which is good.
More protests.
Got to get out there in the
'cause
streets.
That's the internal fight we fighting on. I was talking about earlier. The internal fight that we're fighting against our
own government.
Yeah, our own government. Basically,
did you
the
ever
president-
think we would be here in your lifetime?
No.
Did you?
No, but do you know one thing? I looked at Farrakhan for a couple seconds today, right? And he was saying that, and I don't know if we ever did this, but he was saying that he wanted to boycott Christmas, right? Weren't we supposed to do something like that, or Good Friday or something? We're supposed to.
Yeah, it was supposed to be
Black Friday.
Black Friday.
Yeah. So why don't we carry it on? Why don't we boycott Valentine's Day?
We're not gonna
because they tell
boycott.
us when to
We're
lie,
not
when
gonna
to love our wives.
We're not gonna boycott Valentine's Day simply because you single.
No, but I'm saying, you want a day to tell you when to love your wife?
No, you don't. Listen. No,
we do it every
we
day.
do it every day.
That's right.
That's a special
So
day.
when
But there's a
Valentine's
history
Day
behind
comes,
Valentine's Day.
boycott it, right?
No, we're not
Everything
boycotting.
that comes up. Well, you can't boycott Easter because you guys, very religious. But I know you ain't
very religious.
Yeah, you're very religious. But anyway, I'm not going to tell y'all. I'm not gonna tell y'all to boycott Easter, but these other little things.
What about
so
New
what do
Year's?
they
You want to boycott New Year's?
Huh?
You want to boycott New Year's?
Well, nobody spends money on New Year's. What do you spend money on New Year's to do?
Party.
Yeah. That's
Well,
what-
New Year's is not like
New Year's is a party.
It's not a big money making thing.
What?
But I'll tell you one thing: we should boycott Halloween.
Hey man, where this guy been?
I know.
We should boycott Halloween. New Year's is not a big money making
drinking?
thing. Where you spend money on New Year?
Man,
I was asleep when the ball dropped, so I don't
Hey,
know what
just
y'all
you.
doing.
But you see all them people in New York, man. Hey,
They
you
woke
don't
me
think
up.
they spent money?
They woke me up at like 12 to tell me
New York,
the New Year
Las
came in.
Vegas, Nashville, Tennessee,
Mhm.
all them places. That was a money maker.
No, they celebrate.
But
we
you know-
don't have to do that.
what
Those are money
Farrakhan was
We don't have to
saying,
do
We
that.
don't.
we already.
don't have to do it.
We
What
don't.
Farrakhan was saying, we're already
Especially Black Friday.
implementing. Already, it's been implemented. Well, let me get myself together. What Farrakhan was saying is already being implemented. It was already being done.
Mhm.
It just wasn't being done on holidays. This
And it
this,
wasn't being
this,
done consistently.
this boycotting. Oh, it's going to increase.
Mhm.
This boycotting.
It has to, because something has to
Mhm.
change.
Yes.
And that's the only way to change it.
If you want to hurt the rich, you hit them in the pocket.
That's right.
That's it.
That's all it is.
But you got to keep doing it. Don't just do it one
Yes.
time.
Yes. A lot of the boycotting was geared toward, unfortunately, was geared toward, and I don't know if y'all agree with this, but I think it was geared toward areas where most average Americans to poor Americans shopped at, because that's what they do. They come in, they set up shop in those areas
Right.
to get their money, to get
Right.
our money.
Right.
And I think that we can do more than that. I think we can do more than that. Don't just boycott the stores in your areas. Make that an online thing too. Boycott those stores in your areas and their superstores online. Because what's the point of not, going to the store that's in your local area, but you're going to go online and get it? You're offsetting that, you know.
Mhm.
So I think boycotts are going to increase. Protests
Oh,
are
yeah.
going to continue.
Mhm.
And what's on the table
Mhm.
is there might be, you talked about the militias,
Mhm.
that might happen where you're going to have the standoffs in the streets where ICE agents will become targets. So wearing the face masks and all that,
They should have to take those face masks off, though. I'm sorry.
well, that's part of
They should have to take
there's
them
more
off.
cities and more states
should have
that are
to take them
passing
off.
laws that
Yeah, they doing that.
that
now,
to make
especially
sure that-
after this
They should have to
incident.
take
that's
them off.
allowing
Wednesday.
local
Wednesday
law
and
enforcement to arrest ICE agents and federal
Mhm.
agents that violate local city state laws.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
And I commend that.
Mhm.
That is another way that we're coming together to fight
Because
against
they
the
look
Trump
like the client.
administration.
Remember,
administration.
they made the client take their mask off. They said, "Oh, yeah, you can march, but you got to take your mask off."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, this is what they should do with these ICE guys, man.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But
I
the only
agree.
thing
The ICE guys aren't nice guys. Bars.
Yeah.
But I know these ICE guys, it'll be funny to see them because I'm sure most of these guys are Spanish. Well, not most,
I don't think
but
so.
I'm sure some of these guys are Spanish.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with
I'm
that.
sure some of these
Some
guys
of
are
them,
Spanish.
some are.
Yeah, but I believe that most of them have a white supremacist mentality.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I would believe that. And
Even though it was a white woman that they shot, but you know.
yeah, that don't stop them because, like I said, the neo-Nazis want to take Trump out because they feel as though Trump is derailing their desires.
Mhm.
But you know, on the same note, they're trying to make her describe her as a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, kind of.
Which is crazy
Yeah.
because
I can see
there's
she
no
pulled out a
evidence.
jammy and just
Yeah,
went
exactly.
berserk. Then yeah,
You know,
I-
but
when they
you
said
try to
that,
get away
man,
in the
I was
car?
like, why?
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But see, that's
It's
to
one woman.
justify-
that's a
One
spin.
woman,
That's
Yeah,
a spin.
and
You know,
my
that's the
thing
way they
is,
spin it.
yeah, they're gonna
you know?
spin it so she could look bad, and the officer don't look as bad.
Mhm.
No, that officer should not have been out there in the first
He
place
shouldn't have been out there
because he was in the hospital just 6 short months ago
Mhm.
dealing with a similar issue from that kind of event.
Uh-huh.
So
He
he
gonna hit
had-
that car sometime.
He had some trauma
Yeah.
going on there, which explains why he pulled his gun so fast
Mhm.
and shot though. It's not only that he pulled the gun,
and
but he
shot.
pulled it and started shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If he had enough to pull a gun and start shooting, you had enough time to jump out of the way of the vehicle. I
he
was
didn't get
you
hit.
know?
I don't even know why he
Right.
he wasn't in the
All
line of
This
of the
guy-
car.
Car.
He
He
tried to
was
show
not.
a video of the guy, right? And the car's here, and the gunman's is right here. Now, when you look at that video, you can see from her dashboard, from his body camera or whoever it was taking the picture, photo, video, her hands was actually going like this, right? Her hands
Turning
was about
away.
to move like this. Now, that's telling me she's turning away from
Away
him,
from the gym.
Mhm.
right? First of all, he's standing off to the right of the vehicle, looking head on,
Right.
which would be her left.
Mhm.
That means he's not directly in front of the car.
Exactly.
And at no time was he ever directly in front of the car.
Mhm.
Well,
No.
not directly. He was off to, like you said, he was off.
He was off to the side.
to the driver's side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, he was off to the side.
Mhm.
Now, the fact that her hand is moving like this is telling you she's
she's going the
not
opposite
trying to
Trying
way.
to
hit
hit
him.
him. Yeah. She's trying
Because
to
if she
avoid
was
him.
trying to hit him, she'd have been going to the left.
Exactly.
Right. Or she would just been driving straight ahead.
Yeah.
Right. And when you
But
look at the
clearly
video,
the tires went to the right.
right. And when you look at
Clearly.
another
Yes.
video,
Yeah,
another video
because after
shows
she got shot. The car went that way.
Mhm.
It didn't go straight. You know.
another video shows him with his arms like this, right? You look at the position of his arms on the hood of the car, close to the hood of the car. He's like this, and his legs are moving like that, steadily backwards, right? Now, if she was trying to hit him, his arms would have been like this
Mhm.
or like this. He would have had to defend himself.
Mhm.
He would have break his arms free into a defensive position,
Mhm.
and his legs would not have been moving like that.
Right.
Yeah.
His legs would have been moving really fast
Mhm.
in the backwards direction. None of that happened
Yeah.
because she's not moving into him. She's moving away from him.
Mhm.
And that will hold up in the day of court, any court on any day, no matter who's the judge.
Well,
Perhaps.
I know for a fact that they're gonna try to get criminal charges against this guy.
I guess the guy.
Oh, they already formatting that.
Yeah.
They already formatting that.
But I don't know.
It doesn't matter if Trump pardons him or not. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, that part I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, is it gonna be good enough to convict him?
Yeah.
Even the video
Yeah.
convict him? Because I was listening to an attorney today. He said, I don't know if we're gonna find enough jury members to
Yeah.
try
Try
him
him.
guilty
Mhm.
of those murder charges.
They
But
will.
I hope so, but I'm just saying, I don't know. He said a civil case, you got it all day.
Mhm.
So a civil case,
Mhm. Mhm.
but murder rap, he
Mhm.
said it's gonna be hard to do
It is. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
because
The
of
only reason why
you
it's
know
gonna-
what it is.
because he can't find a
He
non-biased
said, right,
place to hold it. That's the only thing.
yeah, because it's in that state.
Mhm.
It's in that state. So when I'm saying that he might have trouble finding
But the funny thing
the,
is,
jurors to
two people could look at that tape and see two different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, if
You
you're
know what I'm
blind.
saying? But you know what depends on? Like if you're talking to a person that's from what do you call it? What do you call it when you're officer of the law?
Oh yeah, law enforcement.
Law enforcement, right?
Mm.
If you ask a person for law enforcement, right? Whatever they say, they're not going to speak bad about this guy because they're law enforcement.
That's
You
not
understand
true.
what I'm saying? Huh?
That's not true.
No,
Because
no,
several.
I talked to a
Several-
guy who's a law enforcement, and he would not say anything
But see,
against
ISIS
this guy.
is not
Well, listen.
not local.
Huh?
They're like a
they're
federal bag.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So
So
this guy is a police
So-
officer in Baltimore, but he does FBI.
Okay.
now see,
You know what I'm saying?
See the whole thing.
And
with-
he would not say anything negative about him. Even when I asked him about
don't
even when I asked him
care.
about the what's it called?
Because-
The mask.
Yeah.
He was like, well, maybe that's their
Look, I got
policy.
some video that showed that New York cops
Mhm.
don't play with
Well,
ISIS.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I have
Yeah.
a video. I just showed
Yeah.
my pastor early
Mhm.
today this morning.
He's a cop.
Nah, he
Oh.
worked for the police
Okay.
department.
Okay.
And
He's
they
a
have shown
chaplain
that
for
video
the
to
police department.
several law enforcement agents, current law enforcement agents, and every single last one, all four of them,
They
every,
went against him.
every single last.
I mean,
one.
they straight went against
straight
him.
when
No,
they
that's
said
yeah?
that's not the procedure. That's not how we
Hmm.
do. That's he.
Well, my guy.
They say the guy was out of.
Not
They
say
say the
anything about
guy.
it.
They basically said he was in error. Another guy said he was out of order, and another guy said, looking at the angle, he should have did this. He didn't say he was out of order. He was wrong. He said he should have did this. He should. So you had, and then the last guy, the fourth guy, he looked at it and he said, "You got to ask the question, where's the training? We're not trained to respond like that."
Mhm.
That's
He
what I'm
said,
saying.
"In the field,
the training seems to
when
be
you're
a
faced with
problem.
life and death, Yeah, the adrenaline is rushing to you, but you got to remember your training.
I think
The training is what seems to be the problem.
I don't think it's because they hire these guys so fast.
Mm.
They just want to put them out in areas so they could do that. Be go getters.
They think
they want to get the guys
strength in numbers.
Yeah, strength in numbers. So they ain't got no proper training.
Mhm,
So they
mhm.
just shooting them out in these different states that they could put them in to get rid of the illegals,
Mhm.
right?
So what's going to happen when they put 2,000 ICE agents or 2,000 federal agents into a neighborhood or area within a certain amount of city blocks, and they're overrun by 4,000 American citizens?
Mhm.
What's going to happen? You think the 2,000 ICE agents are going to take that 4,000? No,
Mm-mm.
it's not going to go down like that.
Mm-mm.
They're going to be overrun.
But see, and this how our government's supposed to work. They're supposed to work coincide with the local
Yes.
police department.
Right.
That's not happening.
That's the main
These
problem.
ICE agents is going into neighborhoods without the local enforcement
Mhm.
know anything about it.
Right.
So my thing is, if that don't
In
get
some
corrected,
cases,
in some cases,
yes.
but that's most cases because even Walsh, the guy who
Walsh,
ran,
yeah.
the governor of
Tim Walsh, yeah.
Minnesota, he said
Which one? The one that says stay the F out of.
That's the mayor.
Oh,
that
that
was the mayor.
Okay.
That was the mayor.
The mayor of Minneapolis.
Well, he
But the
said.
governor said
He's
we
not the only
don't
one that
have-
said that now.
Yeah, he
Nah.
don't. But
You got it happening in Philly. You got it happening in Florida. You got it happening in Chicago. You got
Chicago.
it happening all over the
Yeah.
country.
But the thing is, what's going on with this federal? They not
Mhm.
coinciding with the local authority.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
not
even Walsh
cooperating.
said,
Yeah.
he said, this is why we don't have anything. This is why we don't know nothing.
Mhm.
We don't know when these guys gonna be, where they gonna be at
Mhm.
with the local authorities. So when they go off and you see it on the news, we have no recollection that was going on.
Mhm.
The local authorities don't have no recollection of what happened there
Mhm.
until they get there. And then they got to do their own investigation of what happened.
And then
Mhm.
Trump will have the audacity to come out and say, "Oh, you guys ain't doing your job."
Yeah.
To local law enforcement,
Mhm.
they're not doing their job because you're not giving them the chance to do their job.
Right.
If you give them a chance to do their job, they'll do their job better than your agents would do.
So even if the FBI came into a neighborhood, they
Mhm.
got to go through local enforcement first and say, "Yo, we here."
Mhm. That's the proper protocol.
That's the proper protocol.
Mhm.
Even if FBI come into a town and say, "Look, if they come in the town of Linden, Rollaway, they got to say, "Yo, we here. We investigating this, such. If we get some help, it'd be appreciated."
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
See, a lot of that stuff don't happen
Or
on TV,
clear.
and they be watching a lot of TV.
Yeah.
Chicago PD and stuff like that.
They be watching a lot of TV.
So that's and that's basically it. So this is why I stress local America. I mean, the people in America have to pay attention. You got to pay attention because it's going to be a full out war here in America.
Here in America, we're already in a war
Yeah.
against our government.
Mhm.
Like you said, and I agree. I never imagined in my life that we would be in a war against our own government
Yeah.
at this time in history.
Mhm. And see, that was one of the main things you was afraid of when Trump ran and said, "I'm gonna be a dictator for a day."
Mhm.
What's to tell us he wasn't gonna be a dictator throughout? If he could do it for
Seems
one
like he
day,
is.
exactly.
Seems like he's doing it.
You be a dictator, you meet a dictator. What they say? Make up my own word. Dictator. You be a dictator, you meet a dictator's fate. I'm about to say dictator.
Yeah.
You mean
Dictator's
the
fate.
dictator's fate?
You meet a about to say it again.
Well, a lot of
Dictator's fate.
Go out like not good.
Dictator.
Yeah, not good.
Go out on their shield.
Yep.
Yeah.
They go out, they get taken out,
Yeah.
they get captured, they get caught, they get tried.
Like this dude Maduro, but what I don't understand
Right.
about Maduro is he doesn't look like he's in big trouble to me. He just looks like he's like, all right, it's a walk in the park, no problem. And he even changed his
He put on
attire
a
a
military,
couple
yeah, he put on a
times.
uniform.
How was he doing?
Well, there was a lot to build up to this.
Uh-huh.
Trump was doing a lot of stuff to this guy and warning him and all this,
Mhm.
and he just finally said, "All right, I got caught."
So were they Venezuelans that they were shooting up the little boats and stuff like that? Were they from Venezuela?
Not all of them.
Not all.
Where the other ones from?
In that-
In different areas.
Yeah,
Mexico
different areas.
and things of that nature.
Now he's talking about bombing
I
Mexico.
heard. But you know them cartels over there in Mexico, man. They got their own armies too.
Mhm.
I don't think they'll beat America, but
Nah.
I think
I
if
don't
they
know if
do
they
it,
got enough gunpowder.
if they fight them in the bush, it's gonna be hard. It's like gonna be like
We're not going to
Vietnam.
go to war with Mexico.
Huh?
We're not going to go to war with Mexico. Trump is just
We can't go to
talking.
war with Mexico.
There's something wrong with Trump. He's just talking. He's talking about taking Greenland. He's talking about taking Colombia. He's talking about taking Mexico. Come on, man.
Mhm.
Stop.
Mhm.
Stop, bro.
Just trying to colonize.
Just be
so
quiet.
modern day
And
colonization.
the
This
president
is-
of the United
he-
States.
I
Just
think
be
his
quiet and be the
pride-
president. That's
his
it.
pride is telling him he need to leave a legacy.
Mhm.
So all these Venezuela, that's going to be a part of the Trump administration.
So is it like a colon?
Greenland,
Are they colonizing?
if he
these-
get- if
these
he
people?
do-
Is that the thing?
Whoa, if he take over Greenland,
Mhm.
that's a part of Trump administration. Trump did that.
All
It should
right.
be a colony. then.
That's what.
Let's check that time.
Is it going to
Yeah.
be a colony of America? That's what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, well,
Are we
he's-
colonizing these people or what?
No, he's creating an issue for America that's going to take us a long time to get out of.
But how do he say he going to run?
Well,
the
that's the
stuff?
show.
Yeah. My thing is, listen. So all I'm
I thought it
saying
went
is,
well.
I got you.
yeah,
bro.
we go close.
You
We
got
go
me well.
close,
Yeah,
but because it's hour. All I'm saying is, America, please pay attention because watch out. And I know everybody busy and trying to fight with these grocery prices and fight with our insurance prices going up.
Unemployment and everything else.
We ain't even talk
Yeah.
about that because that's another thing you should be watching. It. That's another internal battle that we should be looking out for. But at the same time, please just pay attention and look, just pray. We need to pray for a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
We need to pray. Make sure you got God in your life,
Mhm.
and make sure that God, you're talking to God on a consistent basis to relieve some of this stuff, and don't have to worry about some of this stuff. And with that, for me, Sean Wilson, Rob, Lil Lion, and then we got Ronald McConaughey, and for my boy Matt,
Matt
at
in the house.
Yes, sir.
Listen, if
Matt.
you like the content, please subscribe, make comments because we're always here to make comments, and we'll be back next week. Open up forum. We out. Peace.
Peace.
I thought that.